Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Abdallah here with even more Pokemon Pokopia tips and tricks tutorials. Today is all about trade Pokemon. You are going to be utilizing these Pokemon with this ability in order to get really cool items in the game that you wouldn't find normally. And in this video, I'm going to show you guys exactly what trade Pokemon are. We're going to show you what habitat is required for trade Pokemon, how to set up trading, and what are the best items to trade for, and the currency used in order to get those at really good deals. So, if that interests you, then stick around to the very end because we've got some really cool stuff to show you. Thanks for watching as usual. All right, friends, let's jump into it. What exactly is a trade Pokemon? Well, that's pretty easy if you take a look at it. You may already have some in your little Pokedex over here. We're gonna take a look at Primplup, for example. He has the abilities Water and Trade. Now, Pokemon with the Trade specialty may start barter exchanges at places where bartering is possible. Now, with that being said, you can trade items that you own for items that you want in the game. Offer up to 5 items that you're trading with to convince them to make that trade. Offering items they like will make trading more likely to succeed. That's what the game says, so let's show you exactly what that looks like. Now, we're inside the Pokemon Center over this way. We're in it during a non-event, so that Spores for Hoppip event, make sure that that's done and over with and come inside the Pokemon Center, and you may find a Pokemon over here. There's some Pokemetal ingot right over this way, and yeah, I could totally go for it. So what he wants is 1,000 points worth of value, and we have 5 slots over here that we can add some things to. Now, of course, what you can do is you can throw I don't know, a whole bunch of things over here in order to make 1,000. So you can see I've got tomatoes, and what you want to do is you want to even it out, make sure it's even, and then when you're done and ready to go, press the plus button to confirm the trade, and there you have it. I'm gonna trade 20 tomatoes for 5 Pokemetal ingots. It's that simple. That's exactly how you do all the trades in the game. And this mysterious pedestal actually is really nice. I wish I could craft that. How much is it? How much you want for it, dude? I do actually want that. I might use that somewhere else. 2,000's a lot. So, I mean, I have a whole bunch of like lumber that I'm sitting on that I'm not really doing much with. It's going to be a crafting thing. So I'm going to spend about, let's just do, I could add a little bit of that. We could add some tomatoes over here in order to get that going. So yeah, sure. And there we have it. You have a little bit more than what it is. So doesn't honestly matter. Gave him like 50 lumber for it and a whole bunch of tomatoes. So you can go through your stacks of things in the game and essentially find a whole bunch of items that you don't necessarily need and trade for them. So a little bit more on that later. Let's actually go over to an area that I made over this way, and I'll show you just exactly what I set up for all of my trade Pokemon. And I absolutely love this so much. So I built out this entire section over here. I'll zoom out a little bit so you can see exactly how it's built. This is what I did. I made all of these different habitats with cash registers. I ran some electricity all throughout here. And then I even went underground and made a little generator spot underneath here. So as you can see, electricity just underground with these little poles. And then essentially had some in order to power up the different cash registers in the middle of the plot. So taking a look over here, that's exactly what I did. I made an entire plaza. It's like a really fun bazaar, and each one of these table sections is its own habitat, believe it or not. So head on over here. This is Sudowoodo's home, which is awesome. You can see over here that it's literally just a plain table, and then I threw the cash register on it, and I made sure that there was enough power so the cash register is lit. If the cash register is not lit, then all of these are not going to be valid habitats. So here's Sudowoodo. As you can see, I have just some examples of Pokemon. We have Golem. I don't have anyone there, but right over this way is Prinplup. We have Slowbro. We have Blastoise. We've got Hitmonchan, Hitmonlee. Over here, I've got a couple of them. Hitmontop. No one there yet. We've got Noctowl. We got Hoot Hoot. Right over here, I've got Chansey, we've got Audino, we've got Doxbun, we also have Murkrow, and a lot of other Pokemon are available. So now remember that there are indeed like spawn limits in the game. So you do have to keep that in mind. There's approximately 20 or so Pokemon that can appear in the overworld at once. And if you're noticing that your Pokemon are not coming over here, then odds are you're going to need to spawn them over. So you can see Hoot Hoot's over here. I'm going to use the honey over on Hoot Hoot, and then we can see over here that Hoot Hoot is available. So now that Hoot Hoot's there, I'm going to do the exact same thing with Noctowl. Noctowl is also going to come over here. And then odds are, when they're done chatting over this way, you can tell them to follow you, which is fine. Follow you over here this way, and then just like hold up on the D-pad to part ways. Odds are you're gonna have a chance that they're going to set up shop and have some things over there. So yeah, as you can see over here, we've got a bunch of different spots available in those habitats, and you can see that there's a lot of different things that you can get. So just be mindful of the spawn limits when it comes up for that. Of course, usually they set up around like afternoon time. They don't stay up super late with their trading post, and you can dismiss them at any time. So keep that in mind while you're playing over here. So taking a look at some of these things, berry chair, that's pretty rare. You don't see that too often. I don't even know what this Pokeball table is, but I want it because that's so cool. So we're gonna take a look at Gastrodon over here. We're going to barter. Now, I showed you guys a little bit earlier what are the best things to barter, and honestly, that's anything that you have a lot of. You can craft things and make things like salads, which are 100 points a piece. You know, I've got a whole bunch of simple salads over here that I don't necessarily need. And then I also don't need all these tomatoes in order to make 1,000 points. But you can also see that there's a lot of things that do indeed sell for a lot more points. In case you can craft a lantern, go ahead and do that. Boom, that's 200 points over that way. Wooden panels, I mean, that's 2 lumber, and then you get a whole stack of them. So you might be able to get a whole bunch of those as well. One of the other things too is literally if you do a lot of farming for Pokemetal ingots, of course, you're not going to use your Pokemetal ingots in order to trade over here, but you can use the Skyland sand in order to do that. It's 10 a piece, and odds are when you're rolling around underground over there, you have a whole bunch of them available. So if you give all 99 of those, that's easily, you know, like 1,000 right over that way that you can just knock out. So that being said, yeah, I'm definitely going to do that. You can easily give that. You can take all of them away. You can make it even 1,000. And we're going to do that trade in order to get that Pokeball table. Now that's it. He's going to enjoy that. And then you can see that there is just some other stuff over here. There's some berries in case you need them. There's some materials in case you need it. Right over here, I think there's a science experiment. I actually need that for one of the habitats. Let's see how much he wants for it. 500, easy. Easy. I'm just going to go through and add, not really all that stack. I don't really need that whole thing, but as you can see over here, I don't need Skyland sand. We're literally just giving him blocks of sand that I would have just normally gotten rid of. And we'll throw in 1 extra for a tip. Thank you so much. Easy peasy. So we got our science experiment set. You can see over here that all these Pokemon do set up their shops, which is so cool. One thing that I do want to show you with this science experiment set or anything like that, if you take a look at the Pokemon inside here, like Chansey, for example, if you scroll over to Chansey's likes and dislikes, you can see that the favorites, such as soft stuff, fabric, round stuff, or healing, or sweet flavors, those are the things that they actually like. And it does actually influence what they're going to take, for example. If you take a look at any of these guys, let's take a look at Hitmonlee over here. Let's say I want to give him some of this fluff that I have, right? This fluff over here, he's asking for about 10 a piece. And since I do have my entire farm in the background over there, I'm sure I'm sitting on a bunch of fluff. But Hitmonlee doesn't like fluffy and round things. But if you come over here, over to Chansey, you will be able to see that if you want to really min-max and give them their favorites, you're going to get 15 points per piece of fluff. So that's 50% more value. And you can see that the text is in orange. So if you really want to min-max it and have the best deal possible, utilize their likes and dislikes accordingly. You can scroll through here and then hopefully find something that has the orange font. But you can see over here that it's really just this for Chansey. So keep that in mind as you're bartering with all these Pokemon, and you should be good to go. So yeah, anyway, that's going to be it for our tutorial. It's a very easy one. If you didn't already set up a small area such as this for all of your trade Pokemon, I would definitely do so. I think that the bazaar idea is just really fun, and you never know what kind of items can show up during these things. Odds are it's going to be materials that you have a bunch of, but you may find a diamond in the rough, such as that berry chair or the science experiment or that Pokeball looking little table. But of course, the traders that are inside the Pokemon Center usually have a better selection. So just make sure you have at least 1 or 2 of them on your island at all times. Make this habitat, which is, you know, a couple plain tables and your electricity powered register, and you're going to be good to go. So There we have it, friends. Thanks so much for watching. Now, by watching this entire video, you now know what trade Pokemon are. You know exactly what habitat is required for those trade Pokemon. You know exactly how to set up trading, and you know the best items to trade for and what currency to use in order to ensure those trades go through. So, thanks for watching. If this video helped you out, be sure to send this video to another Pokemon Pokopia fan who doesn't know any of this stuff and definitely needs a couple of tips and tricks. So we'll see you guys on the next exciting episode of Pokemon Pokopia tips and tricks tutorials. Thanks so much for watching, and let me know, what kind of setup did you do with all of your trade Pokemon? We'll see you next time. Take care.